Hi guys, hello and welcome to Sports Stars T20 World Cup segment from Dubai. I am Ayan. I'm joined by my colleague Amol. Hi Amol.
Happy Diwali, Ayan.
Yeah, happy Diwali to you too. How are you doing?
All well, all well. What's the scene in Abu Dhabi?
Well, I'm back in Dubai. It was quite rewarding in Abu Dhabi for India. Of course, that's what the segment is going to be about. We're going to begin by reviewing India's first win in this edition, which of course came against Afghanistan in Abu Dhabi, and then move on and give a sneak peek into what Virat Kohli's men need to do against their next opponent, which is Scotland in Dubai on November 5th. So yeah, beginning with India versus Afghanistan. Amol, your opening thoughts.
Yeah, the biggest gain for India is more than getting those 2 points. From the Indian team perspective, that was extremely critical. Finally, they got their campaign off to a start somewhat. And as the vice captain said after the match, he told us that he wished it would have happened. It would have come good in the first couple of matches.
Correct.
But from the fans' perspective, they can the quintessential Indian cricket fan, which as in I am a 90s kid. I grew up in the 90s, so the whole of 90s was hoping against hope when it came to Indian cricket team, right?
Correct.
And it's a similar scenario. But the good thing is, at least till November 7, India's campaign will be technically alive, because November 7 is when Afghanistan play New Zealand. If Afghanistan beats New Zealand, then it may be a scenario of triple tie, assuming India doesn't botch up either against Scotland or Namibia or both.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So then heading into the last match, India play their last match on November 8th. So India will have precise idea about the NRR request. That is when they will have a slightly upper hand. But for that to happen, Afghanistan have to beat New Zealand. And going by the current form and the inconsistency, Afghanistan I still we have been discussing it that Afghanistan is a very difficult proposition for any team.
True.
Because they are highly unpredictable. But do you think, Ayan, like what we saw in Abu Dhabi on Wednesday night, that the absence of Mujib, is it turning out to be a huge factor for Afghanistan?
I certainly think so. Of course, look, Abu Dhabi, a couple of things went India's way as well. It was kind of windy. So the dew, I mean, I wouldn't say it wasn't a big factor, but the impact was probably not as much as India would have expected. So that helped them. And of course, the absence of Mujib, because you put in Mujib in that Afghanistan lineup and you have got 8 overs of world-class spin bowling. You take Mujib out, it's just 4 overs of Rashid Khan. And what happens is, and as Rashid also mentioned in his post-match presser, that at the moment, only him and Nabi are 2 guys who've had chance to brush shoulders with the biggest names in the game through various T20 leagues. So a lot of inexperience comes through because, of course, as well as the Indian batters played yesterday in the power play, it was also down to poor bowling because they were bowling short pitch balls. And you could see that the minute the pressure was built by Rashid, it was being released at the other end. So, of course, I mean, I completely agree with you. The absence of Mujib has been a huge factor. And Rashid didn't do anything to calm those nerves as far as Afghan fans are concerned, because he was non-committal about Mujib's situation going into Afghanistan's next game. But what's commendable is that he's well aware where Afghanistan stand at the moment, that they are on the brink of doing something extremely special. And you'd be hoping that Mujib gets back, because those 8 overs where they not only create pressure, because if it's Rashid not taking wickets, it's Mujib. And Mujib has been excellent for them in the power play, which allows, of course, Nabi to hold Rashid back. Rashid doesn't usually bowl in the power play, neither did he bowl in the power play against India. So having Mujib allows Nabi to sort of bifurcate the pressure he creates across the 2 phases of the innings. Mujib attacks in the first half and Rashid comes and sort of tries to strangle them. So yeah, Mujib absence a big factor.
Talking about spinners and absence, India didn't really feel Varun Chakravarti's absence because they have a slightly more experienced spinner in R. Ashwin.
Yeah.
They had Ashwin in the reserves. Ashwin, see, there is no point in detailing Ashwin's artistry.
Correct.
He is someone who has been around forever and who knows how to bowl according to situations, according to oppositions. But it was just great to see him in India's blues after a little over 4 years.
Yeah.
Slight break
Correct.
for no fault of his.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it was just great. I don't know whether they'll, assuming Varun is available against Scotland, I have a feeling that they would stick with the same combination or possibly try out Rahul Chair again. Going by the current management, sticking to the same combination becomes slightly unbelievable for those of us who are on the outside. Right.
Correct. Yeah. But yeah, I for one hope that Ashwin stays because, as you said, I mean, there's no point in talking about what a world-class spinner he is because, I mean, it's there for everyone to see. But it's just the way sort of he creates pressure. And Rohit Sharma also mentioned in the press conference after the Afghanistan win that he's someone who's constantly on the lookout for wickets. He's not looking to hold up one end so that other bowlers can come and get wickets. So, which is the kind of mindset that India has been lacking, that aggressive quote unquote mindset in this campaign. But yeah, having said that, India is quite capable of getting Rahul Chahar in too. But this is really, I mean, India's own doing. They could have played this way in the first two games. Of course, the opponents were slightly more superior on paper, and the bowling was better, the batting was better. The conditions, if you were to extrapolate, the conditions weren't exactly in India's favor. They were batting first, and the oppositions were getting the better conditions with the dew in. But yeah, moving on from the Afghanistan game to Scotland, as you correctly pointed out, India are very well aware of what they need to do. So you think the idea will be to, I mean, if they bat first, score 200 plus, and then try and wrap up Scotland as quickly as possible?
They could achieve it in Abu Dhabi. Whether they can actually make it happen upon their return to Dubai will be interesting. First and foremost, I think for all through the tournament so far, it has been discussed that why can't Virat Kohli win a toss? I, for some reason, feel that Virat would be happy to lose the toss.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this team is confident enough that let's restrict them to 120 and then chase it down in 10 over, that sort of a scenario if they can go in.
Yeah.
Or they're confident of scoring 200 every time. I'm still not confident about it. They made it happen effortlessly on Wednesday when virtually everything actually fell in place.
Yeah.
So I think they would just want Scotland to make the first move and play accordingly. Correct. That's the feeling that I have. But otherwise, it's a no-brainer. Like what we saw, they come what may, they just have to go for it.
Right. Yeah.
If it's bowling, they'll go in with the mindset of restricting them to 120. And mind you, Scotland have shown against New Zealand.
Yeah.
Don't consider them as a so-called derogatory term that is used in cricket word. That is Ayan.
Yeah. Minnow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're far from being a minnow.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just going to come to that. I mean, the one highlight of this World Cup, if you leave out Pakistan, England's great campaign so far, has been how competitive the associate nations have been. They've been far from pushovers. They have not given up easily. Of course, at some point, the inexperience shows, but well, they can't really help it. They're not getting enough opportunities to brush shoulders with the big teams. And they've shown in this World Cup once again that if they do get that chance, they can make it count. As you pointed out, Scotland gave New Zealand quite the scare. And Scotland also have a very interesting bowler in Mark Watt, left arm spinner, who's been extremely frugal in his spells. He's not gone for more than 23 runs in any of his spells so far. So yeah, I mean, India would take Scotland lightly at its peril, and it can't afford to, of course, because I mean, a loss will mean they are knocked out. Not that a win will guarantee them a passage into the semis, but as you said earlier, it will keep them alive and will keep the fans' hopes alive as well. Do you reckon India is going to stick to the same opening combination, or do you see them trying something else again against Scotland?
I don't see a change for the sake of it, at least in top 7. Okay. Bowling combination about spinners. I am not sure. And possibly, since Shardul has found it difficult to actually get into a rhythm of sorts in both his outings, possibly Bhuvneshwar in place of Shardul. That's all that I can think of for now.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so yeah, that would be all from this segment. Of course, it's shaping up to be a pretty busy week in Dubai for a lot of teams, not just India. There are others in Group One who are also fighting for that second spot. So we'll get you all the updates from Dubai as and when they happen. Both Amol and I will be at the game on November 5th. And yeah, let's see how India fares. So thank you so much, Amol. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. That will be all from our side. See ya.